everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel, that is Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. आज जो हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं वो क्लास 102 आपका जो लेक्चर है वो डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. सो जो आज लेक्चर आपका है वो आपका DS का है, दैट इज़ योर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर सिस्टम. आपका 102 क्लास है. ऑलरेडी वी हैड डिस्कस about the flat transaction and the nested transaction. So we'll discuss with this class only difference between the flat transaction and the nested transaction. You have to go through with all the points with very careful description, so that you can go through with all that, because it is asked in your PTS question paper and your university question paper, so you can be easily given all these answers if you will getting to know. And first of all, if you have not subscribed our channel, so do subscribe our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. And if you like our video, do like our videos and share our videos, so that much and more people can get this information and get this lecture by your hand. Okay, started with a flat transaction and the nested transaction. Here we will discuss flat transaction, and one point with respect to that and a nested transaction with comparison, then you will be getting all these information. Starting with the difference between the flat transaction and the nested transaction. This is a flat transaction and this is a nested transaction. A flat client transaction completes each of its requests before going on to the next one. So here you can see that फ्लैट ट्रांजेक्शन्स या फ्लैट क्लाइंट ट्रांजेक्शन जो होते हैं वो तब तक कंप्लीट करते हैं जब तक कि आपका जो पहले से रिक्वेस्ट नहीं हुआ है सबको पहले कंप्लीट करते हैं. देन आफ्टर दे मूव ऑन विद द नेक्स्ट वन. देयरफॉर ईच ट्रांजेक्शन एज अ सर्वर ऑब्जेक्ट सिक्वेंशियली, एंड दैट्स द रीज़न कि ये जो फ्लैट आपका ट्रांजेक्शन होता है वो ईच हर एक ट्रांजेक्शन को सर्वर एसेस करता है बाय द ऑब्जेक्ट एट अ सिक्वेंशियल लेवल. Then after that you can see the nested transaction. Here you can see that in a nested transaction the top level transaction can open sub transaction. तो जो top level के आपके transactions होते हैं वो अपने sub level के transaction को open करते हैं, and each sub transaction can open further sub transaction. तो basically जो एक main transaction होता है उसका sub transaction होता है, फिर sub transaction के भी sub transactions होते हैं that can also be open down to any depth of nesting. तो किसी भी टाइप ऑफ डेप्थ तक वो जा सकता है with sub transaction they have, and they can open that also. But talking about the flat transaction, the other point, the transaction T is a flat transaction that invokes operation on object in server XYZ. So here you can see that the transaction T is a flat transaction. जो transaction T होता है वो flat transaction होता है. If I'm talking about that particular transaction, so that invokes the operation of an object जो कि operation object करेगा, that's of server XYZ. Here you can see that a diagram which I had explained before, but I got that video as delete. So here you can see that the T transaction, there is a client and having an X object and Y request and the Z request. So it completes first Y request, then after that it completes with Y, then it goes through the Y that request, and after that there goes on Z request. So that is known as your flat transaction. It complete first and then after that go through with the next and then go through with next. पहले इसको complete करेगा, secondly जब उसके बाद दूसरे में जाएगा, and then after that they move on further. So here we can see that for the nested transaction we will discussing about that. So you can see that in the nested transaction you can see the transaction same level can run concurrently. So the T1 and T2 are concurrent, and as they invoke objects in different server as they runs in the parallel. तो basically the point was that कि if अगर सब ट्रांजेक्शन फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे आपका ये ट्रांजेक्शन T1 और T2 में जाता है, देन आफ्टर दैट अगर ये करस्पॉन्डेंस पैरेलली T1 को रिक्वेस्ट करता है, X को रिक्वेस्ट करता है, दैट T1 रिक्वेस्ट सर्वर करता है, तो अकॉर्डिंगली दैट ये पैरेलली इन सबको परफॉर्मेंस के लिए सिक्वेंशली दे सकता है. फॉर दैट T1 जो है वो M को रिक्वेस्ट करेगा, देन आफ्टर दैट दे मूव ऑन टू द that object request that is N. So they could parallelly can be obsessed and assist, and after that T2 for, while talking about T2, and that gives the T2 1, and that goes on O, and then Y, and after that T2 that goes on P. So all these can parallelly run accordingly, and they will be concurrently assist by the invoke of that particular objects. For the different servers, they can run in a parallel also. In that manner, they are known as the nested transaction, where we can see that the nested transaction has been happened. So class, actually thank you. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give your suggestion on a comment box. Thank you.